Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and before I begin, let me just fix up the lighting real quick. No, not that. Can you use a little more lighting? There we go. And a improper studio lighting. And for this video, I'm gonna take my trip in Vermont. So today, in this video, we're going to talk about my trip in Vermont. And you're probably wondering, Neil, why did you go to Vermont? There's probably nothing near there. It's probably boring, and there is probably nothing to do there. Well, there is something to do, and here's the reason why. Firstly, it's because it's fall in here in the United States, and usually fall is always fall foliage. And up in the New England area, such as Vermont, Connecticut, Maine, including New Hampshire, the fall foliage there is beyond phenomenal, dreamy, and beautiful. But there's also a reason why I went to Vermont, and that is hiking. As you know me, I love to hike, and also there are some great photo opportunities in Vermont. Now, the reason why I chose Vermont is because it was something that I wanted to choose my own, and also I got a little curious about because over the past few years I've been traveling to Europe, such as just Portugal, Iceland, quite different countries in Europe. But I thought to myself, you know what? Instead of going to foreign countries like anything else, why not travel to here, in the United States? And I was thinking, let's go to Vermont and then see what happens here. My stepmother, I have to give credit, she told me about this organization group called Backroad. And they do a bunch of different activities such as biking, hiking, walks, and different kinds of activities that you might enjoy. So after doing a few research on the company, I thought I'd do Vermont, and it seems interesting. Now, this is not like the other group tours I did for National Geographic or the Under 30 group. This is something more like all age demographic groups, going from people from 25 to over 50. So it goes about between those kind of age groups. And after booking my trip to Vermont, finding the hotel that I'm staying at, I felt excited. And after just last month, I was just at Vermont. And I gotta say, Vermont, when I landed Vermont, it was completely different. After landing into Burlington, Vermont, I went straight to the Airbnb I was staying at, and it was getting late, and I was hoping to explore the city a little bit, but it was between 5:30 and 6, so I rested up a little bit and get myself ready to go out, and I kind of explored the city just for a little bit, and I can see the city at night was pretty nice. So after exploring around the city for a little bit, I went to the first restaurant I was going to, Hen of the Wood. And it was a farm-to-table restaurant, and which I love farm-to-table restaurants. The restaurant itself was really nice. Downstairs was very cozy, warm, and I had a cocktail which was like a Moscato-like. And through the appetizers, I had a fennel apple salad with a few cabbages and slaw. And for the entree, I had this delicious pork tenderloin which was very delicious. And after dinner, it was between 8 p.m. to 8:30, and I went to explore more of the city a lot. And I did, and I found this nice little bar/arcade place to hang around at called the Archives. And let's say it was a nice first night out in the city. Hey there. Give me 1 sec. I'll just find a spot to sit down. And here we are. So this is day 2 of traveling in Vermont. Right now, currently I am in Burlington, and this place I'm staying at is the Lighthouse. Although this place is phenomenal, breakfast of this is great. I just had fresh toast this morning. Some bacon, really good Vermont bacon, and a huge glass of coffee. Now, today was quite the adventure, where I did 2 things. 1, bike riding, and 2, hiking. For the bike ride part, this is a trail called the Island Line Trail, which is a long 12-mile long bike trail that goes from the portion part of Lake Champlain to the upper part. And it was quite the bike ride, that all I can say. And it was a 12-mile bike ride, like I said. And going back to it, to the point where I went to bike, was the additional 12 miles. So in total, I did for about 24 miles of biking, which is pretty much the most outrageous and highest bike ride I've ever done. But the trails on the Island Line were beautiful. You can do beaches, there's a beautiful bridge, some beautiful scenery, even this like tiny this big island where like you can actually walk on the beach and just walk towards it. And of course, right by the middle of the going to the 12-mile mark of the bike lane, there's a little gap where like you're supposed to take a ferry. And I checked my schedule and my time, and I didn't have much time going to the ferry. So luckily, I thought drove me and took some photos of the lane, the ferry coming in and out. It was fun. Plus, right around, like say, it was around the noon mark when I got there. It took me about an hour or an hour 15 to ride back, and I was completely sore from my toes to my buttocks, and it was of it. I did take some breaks for about the next 15-20 minutes just to get my breath and replenish and drinking water. But overall, it was a fun bike ride going from beginning to the end. And plus, I went to this really good sea dog restaurant called Splash, and it was pretty crowded. So I asked the staff to say how long does they wait for one person. And luckily, it was like about at least 15-20 minutes. So I was like, okay, I'll just get a drink. If you had one drink and then 5 minutes later, like, oh, perfect. And when I ordered the lobster roll, oh my God, it was really, really good. It was not the best, but it was a really good lobster roll. Even though the summer season is ended, now we're approaching fall, it was still worth tasting and having a good versus lobster roll at the end of the bike ride. Bike ride. But anyways, after like replenishing and getting some food and getting a few drinks. I called Uber. By the way, if you're planning to call Uber around here in Burlington, Vermont, it will take at least like 15-20 minutes to have one come to your destination. So just reserve a ride ahead of time or plan out where you want to go. But anyways, I called Uber to go to this place called Shelbourne Bay Trail. And there's a farm like in the next spot, but I just want to focus on going the trails today. So as soon as I got near to the trails, the guy who my Uber driver was pointing out like the lake part of Lake Savvun where I was going. There was a drought, and like holy shit. I asked him if this was normal around this part of season during fall. He says no, it's not. They haven't had rain since July, so that's very, very concerning. But luckily, either Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to rain. So hopefully there'll be a lot of rain. But as soon as he dropped me off, I started working on the trail. And I gotta say, the trail was smooth, easy, and pretty relaxing. So now it's around like say 3:45 or 4. I call an Uber. The guy picked me up. It was a very short hike for me because I didn't have much time to go around the loop. So by the time the Uber driver picked me up, I take a nice long nap, and then as you can see, I'm prepared to go outside for dinner. And tomorrow is the big day where I meet my group to meet the group back roads for a trip to Woodstock. And the first thing I'm gonna do is hiking, and then after that, go to the town of Woodstock. And I can't wait to see what I expect to see tomorrow afternoon. Right now, I am gonna head out to dinner, and tomorrow is the big day where I meet my group, Backroads, which is a tour company that I'm gonna meet. And the very first thing we're gonna do in the morning is going to a hiking trail, and I'm still excited to go on and meet everyone else. So hopefully tomorrow will be a nice day. But for now, I'm gonna head out, get dinner, get a few drinks, come back, and get ready for tomorrow morning. So see you in a bit. Oh, yeah, I got my shirt here. Good. The second night of going out for dinner was going to this restaurant called Trattoria. For the appetizers, I just had a lovely salad, beef pasta, and it was delicious. And after that, I went to another bar in Burlington called The Devil Takes a Holiday. And it was very small, but the drinks there was phenomenal. I ordered a Mexican mule, and it was delicious. But after spending a couple of days in Burlington, I had a blast. And now it was a day of meeting my group for Backroads. And here's the thing. When I was about to meet a group, I thought I was about to meet people that were pretty much that were younger or a little bit older. But here's the thing. They were a little older, which is fine, but they were 55 plus. So they were almost the age as my parents. So yeah. I mean, listen, I have no problem with it, as long as something fun, and that's it. But after meeting the group and everyone else, it was about time we head out to our first adventure. So after I got a nice long hike for the day, we went to the first hotel called Woodstock Inn, and I had the bedroom to myself, and it was very nice. And here's the thing though, so we were supposed to eat right around the hotel, and unfortunately, someone at the staff kinda messed up our reservations. So luckily, one of the tour guides managed to call a restaurant just like 20 minutes outside of Woodstock and got us to a restaurant. And it was pretty nice. It was like your typical like standard bar food, which is nice, and it was delicious. Now on the second day of staying in Woodstock, we were about to go on another hiking trip, and this time it was something special. There was a big pond. There was a big pond they could walk around, got a loop, and a farm that was very cute and delightful to see some animals. And a farm, and which I gotta say, it was very nice to see. After spending time in the farm, looking at some cows, some goats, some horses, which were all cute, I got back to the hotel, rested up a little bit, and tonight we went to this restaurant called the Prince and Proper, which was named after a fairy tale in which I'm not too familiar with. The restaurant was very nice, cozy, and warm, and the food there was phenomenal. Well, I had this sort of like quiche like this, which is good, a filet mignon, and for dessert, they give us a whole sort of dessert. And oh boy, those desserts was really, really good. And after staying in Woodstock, we were about to head out to our next destination, in which we would head to Manchester. And of course, another day of hiking. After a long day of hiking, of just looking at different views of the mountains and looking at this wonderful view by the lake where you can see the cabin and the boat. So after spending a nice beautiful hiking day, looking at the view by the mountains and this wonderful view by the lake where there's a boathouse, and I was told that you can actually make a reservation for a wedding. So if you want to make a reservation on that venue, I highly suggest it. It is beautiful. But other than that, the other hotel that I stayed at was called the Wellington Panther. And again, after relaxing and getting ready for night, but for tonight, we were alone. So I went to this restaurant called Morgan's, which is a pub in Manchester, and the food was really good. I started with the wings, which was really good, and the cottage pie, which was also pretty good. Now, for the next day, our group was going to head to climb a very steep mountain for a hike, but it was worth it at the end. And like I say, it's the view at the very top with all the leaves falling down, the foliage, the view from the mountains. It was phenomenal. And for this one, I'm talking about Mount Anthony. I gotta say, the view up there top of the mountain was gorgeous. It was completely breathtaking, memorizing, and I could stare at it for hours. But after climbing back down, we went to visit this little farm in which saw some cute piggies, some donkeys. It was wonderful. For the last day in Vermont, we went to two different places. But first, we went to Abraham Lincoln's cottage in Manchester, in which unfortunately he didn't see, so it belonged to his son Robert, and it was a nice cottage mansion, I would say. And of course, we went to another farm called Healthy, in which we had this lovely lunch, we had some cute animals, and pretty much a good send-off for the end of my trip. After going to the farm and heading back to the city of Burlington, it was sad to see some people to go, but I had a lovely time for Vermont. And of course, when I was there during the first week of October, there was not much foliage in certain cities or towns, but it was worth to go to Vermont during the I would say the peak seasons of the foliage. Now, I would love to go back to Vermont. Maybe go to Stowe, maybe go to other cities, maybe go to Montpellier, the capital of Vermont, and travel again. I would love to go back to Vermont at some point in the future. And I suggest to go to Vermont as well. It's really beautiful. Now, I heard that they're going there during the winter season, their skiage is phenomenal and awesome for skiing, snow and stuff and activities. I highly recommend going to Vermont. Now, for this trip, it was a little bit different than going to the other trips I've been to, one for National Geographic or G-Adventures, and the end of the experience, I had a lovely time. And I might sign for another trip again at some point in the future, but who knows? But I have another trip planned out next year in May, so I'll let you guys know about it. But other than that, I had a wonderful time in Vermont. Like I said, I hope to be back there again. The colors in Vermont during the fall foliage was phenomenal, beautiful, something I highly recommend going. But other than that, thank you for watching my video, and hope to see you next time. Bye.